Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
A lot of men's inner dialogue concerns what we believe others, particularly women, I reckon, want from us. But I hope that by being open with you and hearing what women actually feel, we might be able to dispel some of those myths.
All I want is chocolate and to be left alone. From men.
Okay. Easy to read your mind.
That's it. Nothing else is going on up here. I guess it goes without saying that as a woman, we create stories in our heads of what someone feels about us. And alcohol can feed that beast, of course. Rather than being level-headed, our anxieties can take control, particularly if we're drunk or hungover. I'm definitely guilty of that. We fall into the trap of worrying more about what people think of us than how we feel about ourselves.
Shall we get started with the numbers, Vic?
Yeah, take it away, Hamish.
On average, 1 in 8 men will experience depression, and 1 in 5 men will experience anxiety at some stage of their lives.
Blokes make up an average of 7 out of every 9 suicides every day in Australia.
That is wild to me.
That is, yeah.
The number of men who die by suicide in Australia is nearly double the national road toll.
But it's not just suicide we're talking about here. Men are also more likely than women to die from destructive coping mechanisms like drugs and alcohol.
The rate of mental health disorders between men and women is about the same, but fewer men access professional help or a service. In fact, men account for only 40% of Medicare subsidised mental health services in Australia.
So what this really boils down to is, why do men feel less comfortable than women to discuss their mental health? And what can be done to save you from turning to the bottle when you're struggling?
Let's begin by talking about our own experiences, Vic. So rather than focus on mental health, I want to talk more about struggling to communicate.
Yes.
That is something that I've definitely felt more. In my last relationship, I used to get criticised for being kind of like an emotionless wall. And I often thought, why am I that way? Because I don't feel like I'm that way, but I'm clearly not communicating my emotions well enough. Because I know that I'm not a wall. But yeah, you think that I am. And I've went out with her for 5.5 years, Right. So I obviously didn't show every side of me. So I wondered a lot about, why am I this way? Why am I not open about this? And ironically, that relationship ending opened up something in me where now I am very open about talking about my emotions, and I cry in front of people more.
Okay, that's good.
Really, the breakup, I cried, every day for ages, but always alone.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like I'd be quite comfortable crying in front of someone.
When you were sad and alone and crying after the breakup of that relationship, did you feel the need to talk to anyone about it?
I didn't. Part of me only wanted to talk about it, and part of me didn't want to bore people by being one of those people that just talks about their ex. And I was very conscious of that. I was like, I don't want to ruin your day by calling you up when you're having a lovely weekend and being like, I am having a terrible time every day trying to deal with this thing that's happened to me.
So that's what you're saying there, is that you were self-conscious about your emotions.
Yeah.
So isn't that strange? So there's I am, like, pouring all over people, not really caring how they judge me, especially if I was talking to a woman. But for you, for a male, you were scared of what people might think of you, perhaps because they thought you were weak.
Yes. And I wonder if more men feel this, which is, it's very difficult, I think, to talk about your emotions or a heartbreak or cry in front of another man or in front of a group of men. So unless you've got some really close friends who are women, who you feel more comfortable going there with. I'm lucky I've got 1 or 2 that I feel really comfortable going there with. they don't get talking about, You might share your emotions with your partner, but if that relationship breaks down, you're pretty much left up shit's creek, there's no one you can turn to. So I felt that quite a lot. I was happy to talk about breakup with a girlfriend, but really not with a guy friend all that comfortably.
Did you drink at all during that period? Did you drink more than you...
You get given, with any breakup, you get given lots of crap advice.
Yeah.
And I think almost all the advice I got given was crap. Sleep around, throw yourself into your career, go out more, all of that. Hopeless to me. I did not go out more. I did not feel like partying. So I didn't turn to drink. I was living at home.
Yes.
So
that's good.
Yeah, I didn't think I'll just get hammered every day. There was a few situations, like her birthday, I got blackout drunk.
Right, yeah.
And I was actually at Kit Harington's house.
Yeah.
He had a party and I went to his house. And in his office at the top floor, he's got a whiteboard. And I wrote on this whiteboard, I love Portia, who is his sister-in-law, who's an old mate of mine.
Yeah.
And the next morning I was told that was a permanent marker.
Oh, no.
And I remember texting his wife different solutions I found on Google of how to get permanent marker off a whiteboard. I was like, oh, God, it's not often I get to go to like a cool party and I got so drunk. Oh, I think because it was my ex's birthday.
Yeah. Permanent marker.
I did that, yeah.
You just reminded me of a story. I once, as a joke, I was painting my bedroom and had went out. I was living in Brighton at the time, went out and got really drunk and came back and the pot of paint, red paint, was still in my bedroom. And I was really drunk and I wrote red rum, like murder backwards with it all dripping down the walls, thinking it was really, really funny. And in the morning I woke up to, red rum on my bedroom wall.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
So yeah, I think I definitely struggled a lot with communicating emotions. I actually think what helped me was going to a drama school.
Okay,
I went to a posh English boarding school.
Yeah.
Pretty one-dimensional conversations with lads, lad culture, don't really get into it.
Yeah.
Everyone's straight. Everyone's parents have one of 3 jobs. It's quite a small world. And
Daddy's in the city. Mummy owns an antique shop.
Yeah, Mummy stays at home and doesn't work. Dad's a lawyer or a doctor or insurance or
go to a shooting lord in South Africa every summer.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. Most of my friends went to those schools. But then I went to drama school where, sure, you can talk about, you got to get into your emotions to be a good actor. But I think that's bollocks. I think you just met a bigger range of people who their emotions were right there for all to see. And I think that helped unlock something in me and open up a little bit more.
Yeah, so you're amongst people who accept you no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem for men is sometimes in a group of men or your mates, you're not sure what level is okay or what level is of emotion is going to be accepted in that group. And that can be a problem.
But you're not brave enough to assume that whatever you say will be okay. Yeah. All of your best mates love you.
Of course they do.
So no one is going to be...
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Shaken if you're like, can I talk about this terrible thing that I'm experiencing right now? But most people, myself included for years, are too scared to pick up the phone and say, can we talk about something crap rather than can we talk about the football or something funny that we saw today.
Yeah, it's a shame. So I do definitely agree, Hamish, here that men's mental health and women's mental health is very, very different. Yeah, for me, my mental health has come up at various times of my life. I am somebody who struggles occasionally with their mental health. It's very rare, but when it does happen, of course, it feels huge and I feel all very strange and wobbly. The problem with mental health for men and women is that it can be invisible for others, which is exactly what I had. I had panic attacks in my early 20s. That was my first real solid experience of feeling mentally unwell. I lost friends because people couldn't see my pain. And I think that's something we're going to talk a bit later about, Hamish.
Do these panic attacks happen in private rather than publicly?
No, a few times they happened publicly and people were there to try and calm me down, but they can't see your mental anguish when you're feeling like that. I felt like I was going mad a lot of the time. Well, in fact, for about a year, I had a bit of a drug overdose. I took too much ecstasy in my early 20s when I was a proper party girl, and that had consequences, which led me into feeling really, really unwell. And it's not like having a jippy knee or a cut on your head. Nobody could see what was going on inside me, and the more I spoke about it, the more mad I felt. Trying to explain to someone what was going on in my head was too hard, and I could feel when the words were coming out that I could see that I sounded mad. Therefore, I shut it off. So I know what we're talking about here when men shut things off. I felt that too as a woman at one stage, that I didn't want to talk about it with people because I didn't want to be a downer. I didn't want to bring people into my turmoil, involve them in my whirlwind that was going on at that time. And I was really poorly. I ended up moving back home with my parents. I got therapy, cognitive behavioural therapy in the end. And I was able to talk about it to the people that I needed to. I had to tell my mum and dad what I'd done, and it had been burning the candle at two ends for too long, and that I needed help. So I did talk about it quite early on, and I took the process I needed to get better. Since then, I've had a couple of other wobbly moments throughout my life. The one recently that I had was that my son, Freddie, nearly died. He had a choking incident, which we now found out is epilepsy, and I thought I saw my child die before my eyes. The actual moment in itself, of course, was the most traumatic thing that's ever happened in my entire life. And at the time, I dealt with it very well. I was screaming on the side of the road, but I dealt with it in a way where I went into action and did everything that I could to save his life.
So what are the repercussions of that been, I suppose?
Well, I think the repercussions were that I was in some sort of trauma state for 3 weeks after that. And that caused my mental health to deteriorate over that period. And I had to carry on because I was on holiday actually, and I had my 3 kids with me. We were in a camper van and we had to get on with it. We had to get on with the holiday after this terrible thing had happened. And I actually felt then that my husband's mental health got left behind a little bit because mine was deteriorating, and therefore he had to take on the role as the responsible parent. And because I was so unwell, he's the one that had to get the kids ready every day. He had to drive the van while I just sort of wobbled in the passenger seat next to him, wondering whether I was going to have to go into a mental institution.
Well, what did it look like? You said you're bad for 3 weeks. What does that actually mean?
It doesn't look like anything. It was inside my head. You could never have guessed what was going on inside me. I felt like, again, that I was going mad and I was having anxiety. I felt like everybody I knew was going to die because I experienced the fragility of life right before me in that moment. And I saw that 1 minute my son was okay and the next minute he looked like he was dead. Yeah. And all of a sudden it felt like that was going to happen at any moment. So I felt like I was living on the edge. It changed over time. It got better each day. But it was a very traumatic time for me.
Were you speaking to John about it?
I was speaking about it. I actually went and stayed in a hotel on my own because I felt like I couldn't burden anyone with this. I knew that it was something that I could get through, and I had to go and sleep it off because I wasn't sleeping. Sleep sometimes can obviously make you feel like you're going mad. And I had to try and get over it on my own and then get back into the situation, which is not a good way to deal with it. I should have just probably gone to see a doctor or a therapist or got some help from somewhere where I was away, where I was on holiday.
Did drinking ever cross your mind during
Not
that?
once.
Or would it have done a few years ago, I guess?
No, I don't think in that situation. It probably would have done a few years ago. I definitely would have numbed out that anxiety.
Well, go to a hotel room.
Of course. Yeah, I would have, that would have then spiralled out of control and I probably wouldn't be here right now. But in that situation, I was already 3 years sober and it never even crossed my mind.
Good.
And that is a point you can get to in sobriety where you just don't think about drinking anymore. I don't think about it hardly ever. Yeah. I don't want to do it because I know in those sorts of situations, I'm not mentally stable enough, Hamish, to be drinking. It causes me to have anxiety and my anxiety causes me to spiral. And I know that I am not emotionally stable enough to be able to do it anymore. So I know myself so well. But I do admit that at that time, I prioritise my mental health over my husband's, which I do feel terrible about. But he deals with things in a different way. And this is the problem that we're going to talk about today, is that my husband's very much of the point of view, this happened, let's get over it and get on with our lives. We're all here, we're all alive, let's carry on. Whereas women, I don't know, I'm not talking about all women, I'm not going to make any sweeping statements, but I think generally women go into the situation more and assess it and pull it apart, whereas he's just like, we're here, we're safe, we're fine, let's carry on with the holiday.
I wonder, though, whether or not that is how he is, how that is how man acts in that situation.
Yep.
Genuinely, or does a man feel obliged to act in that situation because in that particular day you were not in control? So he thought, right, I've got to put a brave face on here and be the leader of my family.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I feel bad for it. But he had to take on the role of the caregiver right there because I wasn't capable of it. And I think it's like swings from person to person. If you're in a solid relationship, that situation will swing from one person to the other at some point.
Yes.
I mean, if he struggled, I would have to take on that role. And he's actually more mentally stable than I am. He's never had panic attacks or any mental health issues. So I am more prone to that sort of behaviour than he is. So he's obviously going to be the one that steps in. I think I would have used alcohol to bury those feelings before, and I think I am guilty of self-medicating my mental health in the past because it was easier than considering stopping. It was kind of a short-term high, so in that situation I could have had that short-term high and not dealt with the consequences. But imagine that, drinking in that situation because something's bad happened. It's just not a good idea. But I am a woman, so therefore I think I talk about what's going on with myself, whereas I feel that perhaps a man wouldn't. And I told everybody how I was feeling. I got home, I got a therapy session. I knew the tools I needed to put in place to make sure that I didn't spiral out of control. It's no secret that we feel closer to people and experience a deeper connection when we share our vulnerabilities together. It also makes us feel better to voice emotions rather than bottling them up.
So the question is, why do men in particular struggle to share in this way? So Vic, I'm reading a lot of Brene Brown at the moment, who's brilliant. She's got the big famous TED Talk, which has been viewed 70 million times.
I watched it, yeah.
And she says that for the most part, we still consider vulnerabilities to be a weakness rather than a strength.
Yeah.
And this seems to me to be the key issue. And it's so important that we shift this mindset and start seeing it as a strength and start sharing these things.
If you're questioning your relationship with booze, you're struggling to moderate, or your hangovers are causing anxiety, it might be time to reach out for some support.
Yeah, just talk to a mate about how you're feeling, contact a local doctor, find an AA or sobriety group. Vic's got one.
Yeah, just head to www.cuppa.community.
Remember, if you're questioning yourself, it might be time to seek support.
Even though this journey can be awkward, it is definitely worth it. And if you've enjoyed the Sober Awkward podcast, don't forget to review it, rate it, and share it with your mates.
They have to share it with their mates?
Yeah, of course they do. I'm not doing this for nothing, Hamish. Bloody hell.
How do they share it?
I don't know, just write it on the document.
Hey friends, it's Nikayla from the podcast Side Hustle Pro. I'm always looking for ways to keep my kids entertained without screens, and the Yoto Mini has been a total lifesaver. My kids are obsessed. Yoto is a screen-free audio player where kids just pop in a card and listen. Hours of stories, music, podcasts, and more, and no screens or ads. With hundreds of options for ages 0 to 12, it's the perfect gift they'll go back to again and again. Check it out at yotoplay.com. YOTOPLAY.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Hey, I'm Paige DeSorbo, and I'm always thinking about underwear.
I'm Hannah Burner, and I'm also thinking about underwear, but I prefer full coverage. I like to call them my granny panties.
Actually, I never think about underwear. That's the magic of Tommy John.
Same. They're so light and so comfy, and if it's not comfortable, I'm not wearing it.
And the bras, soft, supportive, and actually breathable.
Yes, Lord knows the girls need to breathe. Also, I need my PJs to breathe and be buttery soft and stretchy enough for my dramatic tossing and turning at night. That's why I live in my Tommy John pajamas.
Plus, they're so cute because they fit perfectly.
Put yourself on to Tommy John.
Upgrade your drawer with Tommy John. Save 25% for a limited time at TommyJohn.com/comfort. See site for details.
So, as you probably know, my comedy memoir, 1,000 Wasted Sundays, is officially out. All my magnificent fuck-uppery in one awkward hit. If you'd like to get your hands on a copy, it's now available from all good bookstores.
We always say all good bookstores, don't we?
Yeah.
Are there bad
No,
bookstores?
it's probably ones with moody sellers.
Oh yeah, really
Yeah.
depressed librarian folk.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
good,
yeah.
good.
So there are probably some, but we're only storing it in the good ones.
It's only made it into the goodies.
You can also get it from all good online retailers. The print version and ebook are out now, and the audiobook will be available in March. I've been writing my memoir for 5 years. It will make you laugh, cry and cringe, and hopefully inspire a few people to reconsider their relationship with booze. If you love the podcast, then I think you'll love the book, even if I do say so myself. Hamish has read it. What did you think?
I feel like I know a little bit too much about you now, to be honest, Vic. Look, I really loved it. It was hilarious and surprisingly moving, but I feel like I've seen you naked in a literary sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From an emotional point of view, seriously, it wobbled my teeny weeny wooden heart, Vic.
Okay.
My teeny little wooden heart.
Well, his teeny little, his wooden heart is broken. Anyway, so if you do manage to get your filthy mitts on a copy, please do me a favour and head to goodreads.com and give me a review. Doing that will help me get it out there to those that need a bit of sober support. So there you have it. My story, unwanted warts and all. Come and get awkward with me.
Not to be too demanding or anything, but seriously, go and buy it
Yeah,
now.
go and buy it. Go and buy it right now.
Yeah, don't just tell your friends, buy it, and then buy your friends one or two.
Yeah, don't give them a copy. Buy it, yeah.
And you know what? Don't be careful where you store it. If you lose it, you can always buy another 5.
Buy another one.
Yeah.